Hello. Today I'm going to explain something to you about the emotional hijacking that takes place that gets people to cooperate with their own abuse. This is something that happens when people are in a power imbalance relationship where there's this competitive mindset and there's this dynamic where there's one person who's, say, presenting in this superior role, and there's another person who's presenting in this inferior role. And there's sort of this tug of war for their identity, and they're both feeding off the external validation of each other. And we talked a little bit about trauma bonding, and this is probably what creates the trauma bond, okay, is this slow disintegration of the identity of the person who's conditioned thinking is buying into their own devaluation that's presented by the superior person. And it can be very subtle, and it can happen over years. And if this person who is, like, say, a low empathy person is putting their own needs ahead of your own, they're blaming you for how they feel, they're creating these circumstances of chronic stress where you have this hypervigilant belief system that is causing you to think more about their needs than your own. And you're constantly feeling like the avoidance of the punishment that this person is giving to you, whether that just be the silent treatment or some slow little dig, something subtle. They're ignoring you, they don't invite you places, they're, disincluding you, all those little manipulative tools that we hear about. And I want to let you know that it requires your cooperation, and they're grooming you into cooperating with this dynamic. And when you get enough stress, your brain is going to flip into a thing called survival mode. When you're in survival mode, that's where we start getting into major symptoms, okay, like emotional dysregulation, which again feeds into their disbelief, their belief in your own inferiority, and that you're the problem, and that you're the one who's not going to chase them for their validation even harder. And I want you to understand that these symptoms, okay, difficulty concentrating, could be sleep disturbances, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, codependency and enabling. I really feel that when you get down that deep into survival mode, it's going to require some support to get out. And I am here to try to provide some of that support, but I also encourage you to get some external help from a coach or counselor or someone who has been in a trauma bond before, and someone who believes you and loves you and can understand that this person doesn't have the right to treat you this way. And you have to learn that they don't have the right to intrude upon your identity. No person has the right to cause you to get down into a place where you don't like yourself. Imagine if this happens to a young mind by an unhealed person who's just feeding their own ego at the expense of someone who's vulnerable to it. These thought patterns get ingrained in the subconscious, and they can become lifelong, and people don't go and fix them until their consequences become overwhelmingly negative, if they can fix them at all, if they even see that it's not their fault that this is happening to them, okay? Sometimes they just repeat the cycles over and over and over. So if you have been in a relationship or at a workplace or in an organization or possibly the political situation that we're in right now, where everybody is just blindly following some superior person's opinions without ever having any of their own identity, and they're not even trying to resurrect themselves with this love gift that I keep talking about, okay, which is an internal response where you protect yourself and you give yourself validation and understanding, and you create emotional safety for yourself and trust, and you love yourself enough to have boundaries and support yourself and find some guidance for yourself and speak kindly to yourself from within. So if you're not exhibiting that love gift for yourself, I encourage you to join me. I'm doing this because I'm trying to exhibit the love gift for you, okay? And I was inspired by Michael's recent anniversary of his passing to make the world a better place, and I started having guilt trip because I feel like I know some things that I could help you with, and I need to share them, okay? Whether anybody watches or not is completely irrelevant in a way, because I just need to absolve my own guilt, but I really want to be able to help you if you need me. So please join me and love yourself better, and I'll see you soon.